Okay, this week we're going to talk about developing a marketing plan because that's what we've been working towards throughout the semester, learning how to use social media to market your business better. So let's take a look at what we've got here. I have a lecture I wrote out. We'll take a look at it in a minute. There's creating your marketing strategy. And then I also want you to read chapter 14 in Likeable Social Media book. And by Thursday, after reading the lecture and the textbook assignment, I want you to write a blog post in response to the assignment. So think about what we've covered in the class and the work you've done using various social media platforms, and particularly all the research you did. And write a thorough blog post, which means at least 5 paragraphs, considering all these points down below. And you want to be planning your future strategy, right? So you need to figure out which social media platform integrates best with the type of business you've created. And it is different for most, it can be different for a variety of businesses, or even just the way you use a platform can be different depending on the type of business you have. Some are common overall, some are very specialized for the business you're in. So you need to think about that, which way to best reach the audience you're looking for. So think about the tools from the semester you'd like to implement, and explain why you would choose these tools. So that's part of what your post should be about. And then what have you enjoyed using the most? Because that when you enjoy using or feel comfortable using a platform, your enthusiasm really comes through, and people can connect with that. If you don't like a platform or are uncomfortable with it, I mean, sometimes it just takes a little while to develop that comfort zone. But if you don't feel comfortable, it can come through as well. Like, why am I doing this? And people are like, why am I watching this? But so you need to be enthusiastic about your business, your product, your service, and then you need to transfer that into the platforms you're using to share your posts, your videos, whatever you're using to develop there. And again, that all comes through to your viewers. So if you enjoyed using a certain social media platform, that's great. I do encourage you, like if you like Instagram, go ahead and roll it over to Facebook, because you might find that you have some followers there as well, as unless you really feel your product or service is not going to appeal to the audience that's there. And it's pretty broad range because people are there, it's kind of one of the more prominent conversational type platforms out there. So people are there and they could see your post, and they might go, oh, that sounds pretty cool. Not for me, but maybe for my grandchild or my kid or my relative somewhere along the line. My friends might enjoy this. So it might be, if you have something that people might give as a gift, that could be a way to get some extra customers. And why not, if it's a free tool to move over into? And then but again, you should focus on what you feel is the most effective. So I'm hoping that what we did in the class help you figure out which tools worked best for you, what you felt comfortable with. Some of it because you experimented with it, some of it because you researched it and saw how other people were using them. And then plus, just what you've seen when you've been scrolling through your social media platforms, what you see that people are using well, and if that's worth your time to use it for your own business. And then you need to think about how much time you need or you have available for your business to spend on social media marketing, and why. What is the plan that you have to get from point A to point B to point C, and then to get that sale going? So marketing is important. Creating your product and selling it, or your service and selling it, that's very important too. So you have to allow time for both to balance out. And think about that, because some people think, oh, I'm going to spend all this time doing my marketing, but then they end up with not enough time to work on their business, and that can be a fail. Or I'm really working on a business that I don't have time to market, and of course that swings the scale in the other direction. You got a great product, a great service, but people don't know about it because you're not marketing it. So you have to figure out that balance. And sometimes it takes a little while. And sometimes you think, oh, I can't think of anything to be creative about this week. And you can recycle content because not everybody's seen it. I mean, you don't want to do the same thing over and over again immediately. But if you have something that worked well last year, you might be able to grab it and post it again, especially things related to holidays and things like that. Seasonal content can sometimes be reintegrated, and you can also use it to think of new ideas, because taking something you have and upgrading it somehow. So you can, again, recycle what you're doing, but you need to think about these things. How much time do I have that I can spend on social media? So that's what we're talking about the first part of the week.